Here are the 3 main reasons you will get a bad review on Airbnb. So let me show some of the tips and tricks to avoid this and what to do if you get one. Let's break it down. The reality is we are living in the social proof economy. If 100 people consecutively give your Airbnb a 5-star review, guess what? Everybody and their mom and their dog and their grandma is gonna want to stay at your property because everyone said it's great. I mean, if I'm looking at 2 restaurants, like say I'm going to a Mexican restaurant and they're right like pretty close to each other, and one has like 4.8 reviews and the other one has like 12 3-star reviews, guess what? I'm gonna go where there are the most and best reviews. Again, we are living in the social proof economy. So reviews are extremely important. Now, the number 1 reason as to why you would get a bad review is if you don't subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. That would be the main reason. So if you don't want to get a bad review on your Airbnb, click that subscribe button and notification bell right now. And while you're at it, why not just hit the like video? Just kidding, guys. Number 1 reason why you would get a bad review is if the property is not cleaned properly. Cleaning is the absolute, by far, most important aspect of running a short-term rental business. You could have the most amazing property in the most amazing location. If it doesn't look like Mr. Clean just left, it's not going to be good for you. You want to make sure that the property is spotless. So let me give you a couple of tips on how my team and I make sure that our properties are having and creating a 5-star cleaning experience each and every time. So one of the first things that we did is we created a communication system through Slack, right? I don't know if you've heard of Slack, you should check it out. It's free. And there's gonna be a workplace, which is typically the name of your company. And beneath that, on the left side, you're gonna have all these channels. And ideally, every property should be a channel. And this way, in each channel, which is each property, you have the cleaner, the maintenance person, the virtual assistant, and the property manager, and you, right? In my example, we have a property manager, a virtual assistant, a cleaner, a maintenance person, and myself. I'm in those channels. I like to see what's going on. And what we do is when my cleaner arrives to each and every property in order to clean, and by the way, I always have the same cleaner at the same property. I don't rotate cleaners to different properties. I want to create consistency. I want the property to look the exact same way each and every time so that it reflects what's on the pictures, because that is another one of the categories when leaving a review is accuracy of the listing. So that being said, when my cleaning crew arrives to clean the property, before they clean, what they do is they do a walkthrough of the property just to see if there's any repairs, maintenance, or leaks, or anything missing. And if there is, then they come to the channel and they would let us know. Then, if there is, right, they take pictures of those things. That way, if we need to submit a claim and charge the guest some money, we have proof. And we have a timestamp of when those pictures were taken. So let's move on to the next thing. After they clean the property, they should ideally take a few pictures of the work they did just to show the quality of the cleaning. Because let's say a guest does show up and they'd say, you know what, Jorge, the property is not in good condition. We can now submit those pictures to Airbnb and show proof with the timestamp of what the property looked like when the guest arrives. And so you want to have as much proof as possible. Again, this is not common, but you want to make sure that you protect yourself. 2, it also creates accountability for your cleaning crew to make sure that they do a good job, because they have to prove it each and every time. And at the end of the day, it's going to reflect on the reviews anyway. If they have, multiple reviews over a 30-day period where on the cleaning section of the review, the guests are saying it was not in a 5-star condition, then obviously you got to have a conversation with your cleaning staff. So in short, make sure you have really good cleaners. If you have cleaners that are lazy and they do the bare minimum, you fire fast, right? Maybe you give them an opportunity or 2 to fix it, but if they're not fixing it, those reviews that cleaning section is the biggest reason why you would lose or prevent yourself from getting superhost status. Now, the second reason why you might get a bad review is inaccuracy of your listing. For example, and I actually had this experience where we launched a property in San Diego, California on the Arbitrage side, and I actually never ever saw this property in person over the course of 3 years of subleasing it because I paid somebody to do all the boots on the ground work for me. and I didn't want to drive 2.5 hours, so I just hired somebody. And again, I did this after I already had some Airbnbs, so it made it pretty easy to know what to look for. But in short, the property had already a lot of wear and tear, and I wasn't aware of it because I never saw it in person, and the guy I hired didn't really point it out. Now, when we took the pictures, the photographer was really good because you couldn't see any of the wear and tear on the property. It actually looked like it was in pretty good condition. But what happened is after that third year, there was so much deferred maintenance. I mean, the property needed like a new floor, it needed a new paint job, new crown molding, new baseboards. It like needed a full-on renovation. And so what ended up happening is a lot of guests would show up to the property and ask for a partial refund because accuracy is one of the categories on which they leave you a review. So the property did not reflect what the pictures from 3 years ago used to be. And so we ended up, like, we still made a profit that year, but our profit went from like $4,000 a month to like $1,300 a month. So 2/3 of our profit vanished because of partial refunds. So you want to make sure that over time you are making minor upgrades from time to time, or working out a deal with the landlord, or if you own it, that makes it easier. You want to make sure that you are keeping up with the property and making sure that it remains in a great condition, because if you don't, you're going to have the same problem that I did. That being said, before I go on to the third part, make sure you guys like this video if you haven't already, because it does help YouTube show this video to more people. Please, thank you in advance. But the last part is, it's actually a good idea to update your photography from time to time, maybe every 6 months, maybe every year, because one of the things that happens is maybe your green couch broke after a year and you got a blue couch now. And then maybe you got like a new rug and you've got some new curtains, and again, the listing starts to not reflect what the photography shows, and so that will impact your accuracy of the listing. So every 6 to 12 months, maybe you upgrade, or not upgrade, but you just get some new photography so that way it remains accurate. But the third and final reason why a guest will complain or leave you a bad review is when they bring up an issue and it is not addressed in a proper time frame, or not addressed at all. For example, let's say your water heater went out and now they're taking cold showers, but these people are like, hey man, I like warm water. What is going on? There's no cold water. And so they message you on the app and they say, hey Jorge, just letting you know, man, it's 9 a.m. here. I'm trying to get to my business meeting and the water is freezing cold. And let's say I didn't respond until like 6 p.m. They're going to be upset, for lack of a better word. They're going to be upset because I didn't respond. I just ignored them, right? And here's the thing when it comes to situations like that. If you can address it in a timely manner, like in 20 or 30 minutes at the most, depending on what it is, it's not an issue. So the reality is these things are going to happen. There's going to be things that happen, like the water is coming out cold, or I don't know, maybe the water stopped coming out. Maybe, I don't know, did the city shut down the water, or someone shut down the water in your home because they were making a repair on the other side of the home, or the electricity went out. The problem is when the things are not addressed in a timely manner. Like if you're able to send a property manager or yourself and go fix this water heater situation, maybe they just needed to, I don't know, do something quick, and it was addressed, cool. And then they could go on and get their hot water shower, right? But when it's not addressed, that is when it creates some issues, and they could say, man, I took a shower with cold water for the 3 days I was here. That was very uncomfortable. Like, I would like a partial refund. You might have to refund them 1 night's worth of their 3-night stay. So whatever it may be, you want to make sure, like I tell my team, and it doesn't always happen, but for the most part, like one of our KPIs, key performance indicators for our virtual assistant who does all of our communications, is to respond to any and all inquiries within 3 minutes. Again, that doesn't always happen, but most of the time it does. And so if the guests have a question, because remember, communication is another one of those categories on which a guest leaves you a review. So you want to make sure that you respond in a timely manner, as fast as possible, in less than 10 minutes ideally. and anything that you can handle right away and provide a solution for, you do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you guys like the video. If you haven't already, check out the description links down below, and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram where I post every single day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.